Hello class, I'm Happy Narang, your subject teacher of water management in horticultural crops. Continuing with yesterday's topic methods of irrigation, we will be discussing a sprinkler irrigation today. As we already know, irrigation is the artificial application of water to the land or soil, and it is used to assist in the growing of agricultural crops, maintenance of landscapes, and revisitation of disturbed soils in dry areas and during periods of inadequate rainfall. There are some necessity of irrigation, that is insufficient rainfall, uneven distribution of rainfall, improvement of perennial crop, and development of agriculture in desert area. There are some methods of irrigation: surface irrigation. In surface irrigation, controlled flooding method, then border strip method, check method, basin method, and furrow method that we have already discussed. And now we'll discuss the sprinkler irrigation. Sprinkling is the method of applying water to the soil surface in the form of a spray, which is somewhat similar to rain. Rotating sprinkler head system are commonly used for sprinkler irrigation. Each rotating sprinkler head applies water to a given area, size of which is governed by the nozzle size and the water pressure. Alternatively, perforated pipe can be used to deliver water through very small holes, which are drilled at close intervals along a segment of the circumference of a pipe. As shown in figure, we will discuss about different types of sprayers we install in laterals and sublaterals of a sprinkler irrigation system. The first line of sublateral shows rotors. The second line shows impact sprayers. The third one shows spray heads. Fourth one shows drip line. And fifth one shows emitters. And the last one shows the bubblers. The controller controls the supply of water in the main head. Sprinklers have been used on all types of soil on lands of different topography and slopes, and for many crops. The following conditions are favorable for sprinkler irrigation: very previous soils which do not permit good distribution of water by surface methods, lands which have steep slopes and easily erodible soils, irrigation channels which are too small to distribute water efficiently by surface irrigation, and lands with shallow soils and undulating lands which prevent proper leveling required for surface methods of irrigation. As shown in figure, water flows from pump to sub-main line, and there are gate value, and there is fixed the pressure control value in main line. There are some advantages of sprinkler irrigation: low water loss, that the efficiency is up to 80%, saving in fertilizer, and suitable for any topography. There is no soil erosion, better seed germination, free aeration of root zone, and uniform application of water. There are some disadvantages too, and that are high initial cost and cannot adopt by ordinary farmers, poor application efficiency in windy weather and high temperature, high evaporation losses, water should be free of debris, physical damage to crops by application of high intensity spray. So now we will discuss the trickle, or we can say drip irrigation. Trickle irrigation system comprises mainline, submains, laterals, valves for controlling the flow, drippers or emitters, pressure gauges, water meters, filters, pumps, fertilizer tanks, vacuum breakers, and pressure regulators. The drippers are designed to supply water at the desired rate, that is 1 to 10 liter per hour, directly to the soil. Low pressure heads at the emitters are considered adequate as the soil capillary forces causes the emitted water to spread laterally and vertically. In the given figure, you can observe that water is taken from the reservoir to the main laterals. The main laterals are connected with the submain laterals. The submain lateral has the drip or emitters which provides water in the form of drops. The plants are shown by maintaining row to row and plant to plant distance, and the drips are so arranged that the drops of water falls near the root zone of the plant. And advantages of drip irrigation are low water loss and hence saves water, enhances plant growth and plant yield, it saves labor and energy, and it controls weed growth, there is no soil erosion, and it improves fertilizer application efficiency. There are some disadvantages too, that are high skill in design, installation, and subsequent operation, clogging of small conduits and opening in emitters due to sand, clay, particles, debris, chemical precipitates, and organic growth. Not suitable for closely planted crops such as wheat and other cereal grains. Now we will discuss the quality of irrigation water. Irrigation water must not have direct or indirect undesirable effects on the health of human beings, animals, and plants. The irrigation water must not damage the soil and not endanger the quality of surface and groundwaters with which it comes into contact. The presence of toxic substances in irrigation water may threaten the vegetation besides degrading the suitability of soil for future cultivation. Surface water, groundwater, and suitability treated waste waters are generally used for irrigation purposes. The various types of impurities which make the water unfit for irrigation are classified as sediment concentration in water, total concentration of soluble salts in water, proportion of sodium ions to the other ions, concentration of potentially toxic elements present in water, and bacterial contamination. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.